This afternoon, we have candidates from across the region ready to listen to you and to hear your concerns. These candidates are ready to represent you. So first, I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Marty Olsen. He's our candidate for Congress in Upper East Tennessee. Marty is an obstetrics and gynecology physician, and he has cared for countless women in our region. He has expertise in the management of opiate addiction. He is a patented inventor, and he has taught in 10 different countries. Marty would now like to take these varied experiences to Washington, D.C. and represent us in Congress. Please welcome Dr. Marty Olsen.
Thank you so much for that opportunity to speak to you today. And I'll tell you, this is one great crowd today. Today we come together to celebrate the accomplishments of women in our lives, in our country, in our communities, and we take a stand and state that discrimination is wrong. And in our crowd today, I'm sure that there are some independents, and there are some Democrats, and there are some Republicans. But today we come together as Americans and we stand up for American values. How many people marched last year? I did too. My wife Natalie did too. It was very important in my development because it made me realize that together we can raise our voices and make a difference. And it made me think about what could I do to make a difference. And as the months went by, I decided that I personally should take a stand against Trumpism. And the best way to do that was to run for Congress as your representative. So thank you, organizers. You inspired me, you inspired us. Thank you. So let's talk about elections in Upper East Tennessee. You look on the ballot, you're picking your candidates, and there's all these offices with one candidate. That is called single party rule. We need to stop that. So that means some of you need to step up and be inspired and run for office, and more of you need to raise your voices, pick a candidate that you support, put your voice beside her or his voice, and help that voice be heard. What is it that makes America great? It is free and fair elections. So let's do our part. If we're going to change the way we run our country, we have to change the people we elect. And we're going to have to change some minds. I'd like to share one of my experiences with you. It was recently. I was driving to Ohio for the holidays to visit my family. Many of you know that Southern Ohio, like East Tennessee, is part of Appalachia. They are a part of us. We are a part of them. And in this small Southern Ohio town of Portsmouth, Ohio, I was in a car wreck. So it's dark, it's wet, it's cold. I get out of my car, the other person gets out of his car, we walk towards each other. And the first words out of both of our lips are, anybody hurt? Because that's how we are in Appalachia, that's how we are in most of America. We look out for our neighbors even if we just collided with them. Well, the police officer does his investigation, drives me to a hotel because I need a place to stay that night. The body shop owner takes his time, helps me figure out how to get myself and my car to my family event. A tow truck driver drops everything, drives me 100 miles to my destination. These are nice people. These are neighborly people. These are kind people, just like we have here. And there's some, yes, and there's more similarities. There's a raging opioid epidemic in that town. There are barred up, empty, closed storefronts. There are people with jobs that don't help them achieve their goals, and 2/3 of the people voted for Mr. Trump. It does sound familiar, but it made me think. It made me think about the difference between kindness, generosity, neighborliness, and the meanness and the malice of Trumpism. Boy, that makes us mad, doesn't it? But here I am, I'm talking to you about kindness, generosity, and neighborliness. And sometimes that's a hard sell, but I really think it is the right sell. Yes, we do need to thank you. Yes, it's the right cell. We must be kind. We need to consider that many of our friends, relatives, and neighbors have given up on the American dream. So we need to talk to them, and we need to listen to them. At the same time, we must rebuke the enablers of Mr. Trump, and we must confront the elected officials who have failed to stand up to his recklessness and divisiveness. As we go forth in these conversations with our neighbors, yes, we must listen, but we can also discuss the fact that the Republican Party used to be the party of Lincoln, but now it's the party of Trump. So we face stark decisions in 2018. Which path are we going to take? Are we going to take the path of recklessness and divisiveness that we have gone forward in this last year? Or are we going to take a better path? A path of hope? A path of freedom? A path of justice? A path of opportunity for every American, no matter that American's gender or religion or sexual orientation or race. A path lit by the American beacon of light that has shone so brightly for over 2 centuries. Let us choose hope over despair. Let us go forth in the spirit of Lincoln, with malice toward none and with charity for all. Let us lift high that American beacon of light so it shines brightly for us, for our children, for our neighbors, for our country, and for our world. Thank you.
Let's give Marty another round of applause.